In just 47 seconds, 340 billion in energy contracts vanished from official EU records. Von der Leyen didn't deny the meeting existed. She claimed diplomatic immunity and walked away from the microphones. Cameras caught her security detail forming a protective barrier. The European Parliament erupted in chaos. What did von der Leyen discuss with Vladimir Putin that required a complete media blackout and the destruction of official transcripts? This isn't political theater. This is the unraveling of the most explosive cover-up in modern European history. For 18 months, Brussels has insisted that all diplomatic contact with Moscow ended on February 24, 2022. Today, leaked FSB surveillance footage proves that was a lie. The president of the European Commission secretly flew to an undisclosed location for a 4-hour private summit with the Russian dictator. The question isn't whether this meeting happened. The question is what price Europe paid for Putin's continued energy supplies. The footage was obtained by a source inside the Russian intelligence apparatus who claims von der Leyen's team initiated the contact through a Swiss banking intermediary. We're not talking about standard diplomatic channels. We're talking about a shadow operation that bypassed every European government, every security protocol, and every democratic institution designed to prevent exactly this scenario. At exactly 14:32 Moscow time on September 15, 2023, a private Gulfstream jet with tail number DAVUE landed at Vnukovo 3 Airport, the same facility reserved for Putin's inner circle. Flight records show the aircraft departed from a military airfield outside Geneva, not from any official EU facility. Airport surveillance captured von der Leyen exiting the aircraft wearing a black diplomatic coat, flanked by 2 unidentified security personnel. The passenger manifest was classified, but facial recognition software from Russian security cameras confirms the impossible. Ursula von der Leyen was aboard that flight. The meeting location was the Novo Ogaryovo residence, Putin's private compound 30 kilometers outside Moscow. This isn't a venue for routine diplomacy. This is where Putin conducts his most sensitive negotiations with oligarchs, intelligence chiefs, and foreign assets. The fact that the European Commission president was granted access to this inner sanctum suggests a relationship that goes far beyond emergency crisis management. Russian surveillance equipment captured audio fragments of the conversation, and what's been leaked is catastrophic for Brussels. Von der Leyen's voice is clearly audible discussing alternative payment mechanisms that would circumvent EU sanctions while maintaining energy deliveries to critical European infrastructure. The recording quality suggests professional-grade equipment, possibly hidden within the meeting room's ornate chandelier. The technical term used in the transcript is humanitarian exemption protocols, but intelligence analysts confirm this was code for massive sanctions violations. The energy blackmail was already in motion. Putin had weaponized gas supplies throughout 2022, but by September 2023, European storage facilities were approaching critical levels. Germany's industrial sector faced complete shutdown. France's nuclear plants needed Russian uranium to prevent rolling blackouts. Von der Leyen wasn't negotiating from a position of strength. She was begging for Europe's economic survival. The financial architecture of the secret deal is staggering in its complexity. Rather than direct payments to Gazprom or Rosatom, the agreement established a web of cryptocurrency transactions through shell companies based in Dubai and Hong Kong. The total value exceeded $340 billion over an 18-month period, making it the largest sanctions evasion scheme in financial history. Transaction records show payments of $47 million every 72 hours, transferred through 15 different cryptocurrency wallets to avoid detection algorithms. European taxpayers were unknowingly funding Putin's war machine while their leaders publicly condemned Russian aggression. Putin's demands went beyond money. The leaked audio reveals negotiations over intelligence cooperation protocols that would give Russian operatives access to European migration databases and critical infrastructure mapping. Von der Leyen agreed to what can only be described as partial sovereignty surrender in exchange for keeping European lights on and factories running. She traded European security for political survival. The cover-up operation began before von der Leyen's flight even returned to Swiss airspace. Her security detail confiscated phones from all accompanying staff. Official flight logs were altered to show a humanitarian mission to African refugee camps. The European Commission's press office prepared a false itinerary showing meetings with UN officials in Geneva. Every digital trace of the Moscow summit was systematically erased, but Putin kept the recordings. Russian intelligence agencies are notorious for compromat operations, and this meeting provided leverage over the entire European Union leadership structure. The leaked audio includes Putin explicitly stating that these recordings would guarantee European compliance with future Russian demands. Von der Leyen's response was inaudible, but she didn't leave the room. She didn't terminate the meeting. She stayed and negotiated. The immediate aftermath reveals how deeply this conspiracy penetrated European institutions. Within 48 hours of the secret summit, EU energy policy underwent dramatic but quiet modifications. Emergency exemptions appeared in sanction frameworks that hadn't existed before von der Leyen's return. Shell companies with opaque ownership structures received massive energy import licenses. The European Parliament was never informed, never consulted, never given the opportunity to approve or reject these fundamental policy changes. The human cost of this betrayal is measured in Ukrainian lives. While von der Leyen publicly supported military aid to Kyiv, her secret energy deals provided Putin with billions in revenue that directly funded weapons systems killing Ukrainian soldiers and civilians. European moral authority collapsed the moment she shook hands with the man responsible for war crimes across Eastern Europe. The intelligence community knew something was wrong. Multiple sources confirm that German BND and French DGSE agencies detected unusual financial flows that couldn't be explained through official EU budgetary channels. Internal memos described significant discrepancies in energy payment mechanisms, but investigations were blocked at the highest political levels. Von der Leyen's office issued direct orders preventing intelligence agencies from pursuing these financial anomalies. Market manipulation accompanied the cover-up. European energy prices remained artificially stable throughout winter 2023-2024, despite public predictions of catastrophic shortages. Traders who bet against European energy markets lost billions, while those with insider knowledge made fortunes. The leaked Putin meeting explains this market behavior. Energy supplies were guaranteed through the secret Moscow Accord, but only a handful of people knew the true source of European energy security. The ultimate leverage Putin gained extends far beyond energy blackmail. The leaked recordings provide Moscow with evidence of European Commission corruption that could collapse government coalitions across the continent. German Chancellor Scholz, French President Macron, and Italian Prime Minister Meloni all publicly supported sanctions while privately benefiting from von der Leyen's secret energy deals. Putin now owns the leadership of Europe. The exposure timeline suggests this leak wasn't accidental. Russian intelligence appears to be selectively releasing compromat as leverage for current geopolitical negotiations. The timing coincides with renewed pressure for Ukrainian peace talks and discussions about lifting sanctions on Russian energy exports. Putin is using von der Leyen's corruption as a bargaining chip to force European compliance with Russian strategic objectives. The legal implications are catastrophic for EU institutions. If these allegations are proven in European courts, von der Leyen faces charges for sanctions violations, corruption, and potentially treason against European security interests. The entire College of Commissioners could be forced to resign, triggering a constitutional crisis that would paralyze European governance for months. The political earthquake has already begun. Opposition parties across Europe are demanding immediate investigations into the secret Putin meeting. Von der Leyen's public schedule for the day in question shows no official meetings, no press conferences, no documented activities. The 4-hour gap in her itinerary precisely matches the duration of the Moscow summit captured in Russian surveillance footage. Emergency sessions are being called in national parliaments where von der Leyen's political allies are desperately trying to construct alternative explanations for the financial flows and policy changes that followed her secret meeting with Putin. Leaked WhatsApp messages between Commission officials reveal panic and coordination attempts to align cover stories. But the evidence trail is too extensive, too detailed, and too damaging to explain away through bureaucratic confusion or administrative error. The media blackout is complete across mainstream European outlets, but the story is spreading rapidly through social media platforms and alternative news sources. Von der Leyen Gate is trending across European Twitter with over 2.4 million mentions in 12 hours. Telegram channels are sharing audio clips from the leaked Putin meeting. TikTok videos analyzing the financial conspiracy have reached millions of views. The information war has begun, and Brussels is losing control of the narrative. This isn't just corruption. This is the complete capture of European leadership by hostile foreign intelligence. Putin didn't just buy von der Leyen's compliance. He purchased the sovereignty of an entire continent through blackmail, financial leverage, and the systematic compromise of democratic institutions. The question now isn't whether von der Leyen survives this scandal. The question is whether the European Union can survive the revelation that its highest officials are operating as Russian assets. The countdown has begun. European prosecutors are preparing charges. Intelligence agencies are leaking evidence. Political coalitions are fracturing. Markets are pricing in institutional collapse as the euro drops 2.3% against the dollar within hours of the leak's emergence. Von der Leyen's secret meeting with Putin wasn't just diplomatic malpractice. It was the moment European democracy was sold to the highest bidder, and the receipt is written in Russian.